Hello and welcome to all LEGO Star Wars sets retiring in 2023. This is the updated list compared to the one I released a few months ago. Some sets have gone off the list, so have been pushed back to retire in 2024, 2025, and some have actually been put onto the list as well. So if you're new, please make sure to subscribe. Starting off with set 40539, this is the Ahsoka Tano BrickHeadz. This retails for £10, $10 or €10 and was first released January 1st, 2022. So by the time this retires, it would have had a nice runtime of about 2 years. This set has currently out of stock on LEGO, I think mainly because of the popularity of the Ahsoka series, which has just been released. I'm not sure if we will see it back in stock before it fully retires. Moving on to set 40623. This is the Battle of Endor Heroes, another BrickHeadz set. This retails for £40, $40 or €40, and was first released May 1st, 2023. So quite a short runtime on this. I expected this to have been pushed back to at least 2024, if not 2025. However, it has stayed on this retirement list, so it should be quite a good set to pick up if it is one you look to invest in. Moving on to set 75288. This is the AT-AT. This retails for £150, $170 or €170, and was released August 1st, 2020. So this would have had a runtime of about 3.5 years by the time it retires. So quite a long time for a LEGO set. You would have expected this to retire either last year or possibly the year before, either when the 501st Battle Pack retired or when the Knights of Kylo Ren ship retired, which were all released in the same year. Moving on to set 75292, this is the Razor Crest, retails for £120, $140 or €140. This also was released similar time to the AT-AT. This was September 1st, 2020, so it would have had about a 3.5 year runtime as well, which is quite a long time again for a set. However, I believe they extended it due to Mandalorian Season 3 coming out and Mandalorian Season 2. However, it didn't really appear much in those. It's a really good set. However, they did release the minifigures in other sets, which will affect its post-market retirement. Moving on to set 75300, this is the Imperial TIE Fighter. This retails for £40, $45 or €45, and was released January 1st, 2021. So it's a really good set. This would have had about a 3-year runtime by the time it retires. So slightly longer than usual. I do quite like the smaller versions of the sets they've been doing, because they've done the TIE Fighter, X-Wing, and Boba Fett Starship. So really good that they've been doing some of those, and hopefully they do more in the future. Moving on to set 75301, this is Luke Skywalker's X-Wing Fighter. This retails for £45, $50 or €50, and was also released January 1st, 2021. So same runtime as the TIE Fighter, they go quite nicely hand in hand. So I reckon the TIE Fighter will probably do better post-retirement compared to the X-Wing, because the X-Wing's been on sale quite a bit recently. I think last week you could get it for about £28 with Amazon Business, but the TIE Fighter I haven't seen on sale in quite a while. Moving on to set 75309, this is the UCS Republic Gunship. This retails for £345, $400 or €400, and was released August 1st, 2021. This set is a great set. It was a fan-voted one out of the 3 options you had, so Republic Gunship, the TIE Bomber, or the Nebulon B Frigate. So this was what the public chose, and this is what they got, and I think they did a really good job of it. Wish we did see some exclusive minifigures in there, which would have helped its value post-retirement. However, it is still a good set nonetheless. Moving on to set 75312, this is Boba Fett Starship. This retails for £45, $50 or €50, and was released August 1st, 2021. So this is very similar to the X-Wing and TIE Fighter. It's the larger ship in a smaller scale. I reckon this set could do quite well post-retirement, because it's got Boba Fett and Mandalorian in, which are 2 really good minifigures. However, the Boba Fett is not the best minifigure we have seen, and it has been on sale as low as $28 this year, and it's currently at $32 on Amazon. Moving on to set 75317, this is the Mandalorian and the Child BrickHeadz. This set is long overdue retirement. It retails for £18, $20 or €20, and was released August 1st, 2020, and this was been out for so long. People expected to retire in 2022, 2021, but a BrickHeadz running for about 3.5 years is just way too long, and it's going to massively affect its post-market value, so it probably won't go much above retail, probably settle about £20, £25, but it's still a decent return if you did manage to get it on sale. Moving on to set 75318, this is the Child. This retails for £80, $90 or €90, and was released October 30th, 2020, so a bit of a weird release date there. However, it would have had quite a long runtime, about 3 and a bit years, which is quite long for a set. However, with the continuation of Mandalorian Seasons 2, 3, and Pop, and most likely 4, it should do quite well post-retirement. and I do understand why they kept it out for a longer run. Moving on to some more recent-ish sets. Moving on to set 75320, this is the Snowtrooper Battle Pack. This retails for £18, $20 or €20, and was released January 1st, 2022. It's a really good set. It's a shame they didn't do the cheaper battle packs like the $12.99 ones or $14.99 in America, and they then upped it to $17.99. So bit mischievous there. Has a really good battle pack, and it was good to see them return. Moving on to set 75322, this is Hoth ATST. This was retailed for £45, $50 or €50, and was also released January 1st, 2022. So this goes quite nicely with a Snowtrooper Battle Pack. You get a Hoth ATST, which is a set we haven't seen before. You get Snowy Chewbacca, which is really quite cool, because the Chewbacca you get is generally quite common now, so it's really good to see a variation of him there as well. Moving on to set 75323, this is the Justifier. This retails for £150, $170 or €170, and was released August 1st, 2022. It's a really good set. I think it's just too overpriced for what it is. It has been on sale quite a bit recently, below about £100 or $120 I have seen. You get some decent minifigures in there, however, nothing too exciting in there as well. Moving on to set 75324, this is Dark Trooper Attack. This retails for £30, $35 or €35. However, it did initially retail for £25 in the UK. It did what was then subject to a price increase about a year or so ago. So that was also released. March 1st, 2022. So it's part of that March wave. It's a pretty decent set. I remember finding this early. I was quite happy with that. It's a really good way to get the Dark Troopers, which was only previously available in, I believe, 75317, which is the Imperial Light Cruiser. So it's good to see them in a cheaper set, but that did bring down the value massively. However, it has been able to allow people to do some pretty impressive mock hallway scenes from that season 2, episode 6, I believe it was from. Moving on to set 75326, this is Boba Fett's Throne Room. This retails for £90, €100 or $100, and was released March 1st, 2022. This set massively flopped. It's been seen at half price, even below half price, within the few months it was first released in, which was quite surprising. I didn't think it was too bad of a set. However, I think the one they did previously was much better, especially because it's not entirely series accurate, because you only get one Gamorrean guard rather than two, but it's still a pretty good set, and you do get some decent minifigures in there nonetheless. Moving on to set 75327, this is Luke Skywalker Red 5 Helmet. This retails for £60, $70 or €70, and was also released March 1st, 2022. This is a really good helmet series. It was quite an interesting one because it was just hollow, if that makes sense. So you didn't have the whole build. It was just the hollow inside shell with the visor, which is quite a cool way how they've done it. You then also saw that in some Batman helmets as well, but I think this was probably the best version they've done of it. I do think this was slightly overpriced for what it is because it, like I said, it doesn't look a complete one. So it's still quite a good set. And should do fairly well post-retirement. It has been about £40 recently on Amazon, I think last time I checked it, so pretty good price to pick it up at as well. Moving on to set 75329, this is the Death Star Trench Run Diorama. This retails for £60, $70 or €70, and was first released April 26, 2022. I love the Diorama series. They've done pretty well. I remember when they first released, it was a bit iffy, because this was like in the first 2 weeks it was down to £36.50, and since then it hasn't really been that cheap. Probably the cheapest you've been able to get it is about £44, but it's still a really good set. Probably the worst out of the three which were released then, because it doesn't have any minifigures unfortunately, but it's still a really good set nonetheless. Moving on to set 75330, this is the Dagobah Jedi Training Diorama. This retails for £80, $90 or €90, and was released April 26, 2022 as well. So this one you get some decent minifigures. You get Luke, you get Yoda, you get R2, and that R2 is a really good R2 just because of the printing on him, which is really nice to see them mix up the R2-D2 printing. It should do quite well post-retirement due to the minifigures and it being like a whole collection and a diorama series they do, I believe, to continue. So keep an eye out for that. Moving on to set 75332, this is the ATST. This retails for £30, $35 or €35, and was released August 1st, 2022. This set was a set no one asked for. It was massively overpriced. It had 87 pieces. I do understand it is a 4+ set. The only real advantage to this set, you do get Wicket, which is the Ewok. Besides from that, it's not worth buying. I think in America it has been about $15, I think a month or so ago, where it was just like Walmart just clearing out their entire stock, and has been about £10 to £15 in the UK as well. Moving on to set 75334, this is the Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader. This retails for £45, $50 or €50. That was also released August 1st, 2022. This set, it shows the scene quite well. I just think it could have been done slightly better. Could have had slightly different minifigures, but it is quite good minifigure selection. You do get 4 in a £45 set, which is pretty standard, but you do get some good ones in there. I have seen it quite cheap, about £30, quite a lot, so not really too much to say about that set. Moving on to set 75335, this is BD1. This retails for £90, $100 or €100, and was also released August 1st, 2022. It's a really good set. I wish they kept it around for slightly longer. It was currently out of stock on Lego, but it looks like they might be getting some more stock back in, so it's not fully gone yet. However, there might be a very small re-release of that, so keep an eye out for that if you do want it. Moving on to set 75336, this is the Inquisitor Transport Scythe. This was released August 1st, 2022, and retailed for £90, $100 or €100. It's a pretty decent set, not really too much to say about it. It goes quite well with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. First time we ever saw that ship, and you do get some Inquisitors with it. Not really too much else to say about that one. Moving on to set 75338, this is Ambush on Ferrex. This retails for £70, $70 or €80. So slightly different in prices there, and was also released August 1st, 2022. It's a pretty decent set. It's the only Andor set we did get. I do hope we get some more with Andor Season 2 hopefully coming out. But aside from that, you get some good minifigures. It's a bit overpriced for what you get. It's 679 pieces. But yeah, not really too much to say about that one. Moving on to set 75339, this is Death Star Trash Compactor Diorama. So this is the third diorama out of the initial first wave. Retails for £80, $90 or €90, and was also released August 1st, April 26th, 2022. This is probably my favourite one just because of the amount of minifigures you get, and they are all, I think, unique to the set, especially with the R2-D2 back printing, and just all the Trash Compactor minifigures, and all the Trash Compactor minifigures in their Stormtrooper outfits as well. We're nearly at the end of this list. There's quite a few Star Wars sets, I do know. Moving on to set 75342, this is the Republic Fighter Tank. This retails for £40, $40 or €45, and was released April 26, 2022. This set was really impressive. It's quite cool because you get the purple clone troopers along with a Clone Wars Mace Windu, which is really quite cool to see. It was originally really hard to get a hold of up until I think everywhere started, or majority of places started stocking it. So the resale value on Amazon and eBay just plummeted. So I think the last time I did this video, I predicted it should do quite well, but since then LEGO have released it pretty much everywhere and increased the limit on lego.com, so it probably has affected the post-market value. However, I do still think it will do quite well, as it is a really cool looking set and a good looking set of minifigures. Moving on to the penultimate set, this is 75343. This is Dark Trooper Helmet, retails for £60, $70 or €70, and was released March 1st, 2022. So probably, I think this is one of the best helmets they've done. A lot of people don't like it. I think it just looks so cool in the overall displays of everything, and I think it should do really well after retirement because it's a LEGO exclusive. However, I have seen Hamleys have it in the UK, and I think Target have it in America. So it's one of the exclusive ones, similar to the TIE Fighter helmet, so we might have a repeat of that, but I wouldn't hold your breath about that. And moving on to the final set of this list, this is this year's Star Wars Advent Calendar 75366, retailed for £30, $45 or €38. Bit different prices there, I do know, and it was released September 1st, 2023. As expected, this was meant to retire this year because you never really see them going for much longer. It's a pretty good Advent Calendar. I love the Palpatine in there, along with the 212 Trooper, which you could only get previously in the ATTE, or it was then released in the magazines in the UK or Europe. But it's a really cheap way to get some 212 Troopers as well. So that is going to be it for this episode, for this video. If you're new, please make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.